Tom Cotton, thanks for being with us on Powerline.
Thank you, John. Great to join you.
Tom, your relationship with Powerline goes all the way back to 2006, I think. Why don't you tell that story for any of our listeners who may not know it?
In 2006, I was a new lieutenant serving in Baghdad, leading a platoon of 41 infantrymen for the 101st Airborne. And after being out on a long-range patrol for a few days, I came back to my base, John, and read that the New York Times had disclosed yet another sensitive national security intelligence program. This time it was the SWIFT program that was tracking international terrorist financing. So I shot off a letter to them saying that I was disappointed they would disclose such national security secrets, and I hope that this time around they ended up not at the Pulitzer, but being prosecuted for the crimes that they had committed under our espionage laws. Now, knowing that the New York Times might not publish that letter, I also copied Powerline, and Scott Johnson immediately put it up on the web, and when I was out for another 4-day long-range patrol, it rocketed around the web, and I got all kinds of emails supporting me from my fellow soldiers, but also had a lot of left-wing blogs questioning my existence. So Powerline had to come to my defense at the time.
That's right. You didn't realize it was going to lead to an existential debate over whether there really was such a person as Tom Cotton.
Right. Yeah, I knew that I might be injured or even killed in Iraq. I didn't know that I'd face an existential crisis, though.
Yeah. And in fact, there's a Snopes.com entry that confirms that Tom Cotton does indeed exist. Well, not only do you exist, you've now been discharged from the Army and have returned to your native Arkansas, where I believe you grew up on a farm. Is that right?
That's correct. I was born in a small town and raised here called Dardanelle in the River Valley of Arkansas on my family's cattle farm, and I live about 5 minutes away from it today and still go out and help my dad move the cattle and sell them whenever we need to, which has unfortunately been frequently this summer given the drought and other conditions on the farm. But, yep, I enjoy doing that still.
And what's the district in Arkansas where you're running for the House of Representatives?
I'm running in the 4th District, John. It includes all of South Arkansas, most of West Arkansas. It's a very large district. It has 33 counties. It's about the size of West Virginia. It's very rural. We don't have any towns over 50,000 people. And the people of this district have been particularly harmed by Barack Obama's economic policies and some of his radical environmental policies, because we're very blessed with a lot of natural resources like our timber industry and oil and gas and coal and so forth. So I'm going to Washington to try to help repeal and repair some of the damage caused by Barack Obama.
Now, you had a contested primary to win the GOP nomination. I think you had to defeat a former Miss Arkansas, in fact. Is that right?
That is correct. So this is a Democratic-held seat, but the Democrat is retiring. And in the primary, I faced 2 opponents, and one of them was a former Miss Arkansas and also the 2010 nominee. So that was a challenging primary, but fortunately it wasn't a negative or a personal primary. We ran a very good campaign, all 3 candidates focused on the issues, and I was able to come from behind, starting from nowhere, because I've not run for office before and never really been involved in politics, and was able to win without a runoff. And now we're all working together and have our oars in the water, rowing in the same direction to turn this seat from Democrat to Republican.
Who's your opponent in the race?
I'm running against a term-limited state senator. His name is Gene Jeffers. He's a good man, but I just don't think he has the right plan to get America working again in the legislature. He's voted for higher taxes on numerous occasions, even taxes on things like nursing home beds, and also has voted continuously to keep expanding the size of government in Arkansas, which relative to some of our peer states in the region is disproportionately large, which unfortunately is the case in Washington as well.
How do you think the race is going so far?
I think the race is going really well. The name identification and the support we built in our primary has had a great carryover effect. The first public poll came out last weekend, and it showed me leading 51 to 22. Now, we still have 6 weeks to go, and as a first-time candidate, I can't take anything for granted. We're working hard every day to introduce ourselves to the voters and help mobilize our voters and make sure they get to the polls and raise the money to ensure that our volunteer team has the tools they need to get those voters out to the polls.
You know, Tom, I'm gratified to see that your Harvard pedigree doesn't seem to be a drawback with those rural Arkansas voters.
Well, I can say that I receive a lot more thanks and appreciation for my Army pedigree than for the Harvard pedigree, but so far it hasn't seemed to hurt me too badly.
Tom, if you do win the race, and knowing how hard you're working, I'm confident that you will. What committee assignments are you hoping to receive in the House of Representatives?
John, a lot of that depends on things that are outside my control based on the size of the Republican caucus and Democratic caucus in the House, who wins and loses from what committees, and what incumbent members seek different committees. But we've got a lot of challenging problems on many different committees, and a few of the ones in which you can have the biggest impact for the country are obviously Ways and Means, which writes the tax laws, and that committee is going to be involved in reforming our tax code. Energy and Commerce, which will be at the center of repealing Obamacare and trying to replace it with patient-centered, market-focused reforms, as well as establishing a new coherent energy policy. And then obviously Armed Services, Foreign Affairs, and Intelligence, because as we've seen over the last 2 weeks, events can spiral out of control pretty quickly in the world, and the first responsibility of the federal government is always to keep America safe and defend our interests abroad.
Well, Tom, I know you've gotten a lot of attention, not just in Arkansas, but nationally, from leaders of the Republican Party as well as from the grassroots, because, I think we all believe that you're just a terrific candidate. Where should Powerline readers go if they want to support your candidacy?
They can go to my website, which is cottonforcongress.com, and they can contribute there. They can sign up to volunteer in person if they're in Arkansas, or remotely through online phone banking if they're not in Arkansas, or to contribute as well. They can also learn more about me and my positions at that website, cottonforcongress.com, and also get links to my Facebook page where they can follow the day in and day out activities of the campaign.
Tom Cotton, thank you very much for being with us on Powerline.
Thank you, John, and thank you for what you and Powerline do for conservative candidates and the conservative cause all around the country.